You would have the feasts of St. Peter and Paul, which is in June, and the last, I think, June 28th or 29th, and this feast, St. Peter and Paul, of course, the patron of Rome, and the pillars of the Church of Rome.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. This is an official test.
No.
They'll probably bind your head less.
No.
I mean, they're orange.
I look like a doofus.
Orange doofus? Orange Julius? I don't hear you yet, Jeff. Am I supposed to?
Ooh, I'm
All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I hear you.
Check the fuse in that thing.
I think it.
There you go. All right, so,
Wait, am I using a different mic today?
Yes, you are.
yes, you are.
I'm fine with it.
Here we are. Two sleepy people.
And look at me, I wore a shirt that wasn't a t-shirt. Awesome.
You
It
did.
is. It's awesome. Yeah, there you go. Nicely done.
Kathleen wins the T-shirt.
Yay.
Yeah, let's see. I got to scoot over this way a little bit more here. All right. Hey. So, we're going to do this. What was I going to do? I was going to do this. And then
No star documents. What's the name of this document?
piano-led punk rock
Definitely
kind of day. A piano-led punk rock kind of day?
Yes.
All right. It is so.
What if I would like to edit it? Whoa.
All right.
I just watched the Russian women's hockey team
Yes?
whoop Germany. Like, they were down 1-0, and they came back in a matter of 7 minutes. 4-1.
Wow.
Winners.
Wow. Okay, so, what do I do here?
Well, we've been asking ourselves for some time.
No kidding.
First, Mary the Mother.
All right, that's working. Studio.
Hey, Kathleen.
aux
Yeah.
is up there. You.
Look, we could do this.
Aha.
What?
Split screen there.
That's right.
Wait a tick. What?
Uh-huh.
Kathleen.
I could do this. Oh,
Uh-huh.
wait.
Is that bad? Do 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 do.
But I have seen you do like the 3 boxes
Yeah, because that was the old switcher.
and the old
Point
the
at
podcasts of
Is
old.
that
I
bad?
really
Do 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 do.
You look like you have an arm. That's fine.
With by myself. Okay, all right.
Well,
That was fun, though.
that was nice.
What?
No.
Oh, scandalous. Oh, oh,
There she goes.
We're having fun with television.
Father Kathleen.
oh. Oh, no.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. And Kathleen and...
And me? Boop, boop.
Okay, enough of this foolishness. This foolishness.
I would like to
More. Good grief.
I'm going to go. There we go. That's all
Yes.
working.
Mm-hmm. Like a charm.
Excuse me. Just gonna keep it on Kathleen for a minute.
What? All right. Guess I'll be running this one by myself. Here you go.
Take it.
On today's show, what we do when Father Chris isn't here.
Mm-hmm. Gosh. I'm really starting to dislike my iPhone
Yeah.
a lot.
Welcome to the club. I don't want to view it. I would like to edit it. But my iPhone says no. And I say, well,
Hmm.
you're going to do what I tell you to right now.
Tap to tag. All right.
Oh, yeah, it does.
What am I thinking?
Oopsies.
Kathleen, are you on Facebook?
I am.
Should I was going to tag you in a
Oh, yeah. Are we not friends?
photograph. You know, I don't think. Let me see if I start typing your no. No, well, apparently we're not.
We must be friends.
Yes, we must. So I can,
Oh, don't know how to tab that. What happened?
should I friend request you?
Yeah, I'll be a friend. I don't know why we're not.
I don't either. I don't do this very often, but how do I do that?
Did you have some cookies?
Nuts.
Boo. Oh, nuts.
Search,
That was a loud sit.
is it just Kathleen Lee or
Mhm.
okay?
Are you not friends on the
I
Fache
don't
book?
think we are friends on the phone.
That's
Fachi book.
unnatural.
Ah,
Did you find me?
I'm looking. It's searching.
Man, my ear is just all itchy today. I think
Cancel that.
Oh, we are friends. Oh, I sent you a friend request, and you have yet to respond. That's why.
Really?
Thanks a lot. It says friend request is sent.
Well, how do I find that?
Mm.
Oh, here we go. Get start. No, these are current friends. I don't know. Let me go over here to. All right, I'm canceling this. Don't save it.
You want me to cancel my friend request and send
No,
you another one?
no. Let me go back over here to. It wouldn't be notifications. It's. Oh, well, wait a minute. It says you don't have friend requests. But then it pulls up this list of people who you might know. But apparently I don't have it. Did you send it to the right Jeff Blackwell?
There's a picture of you.
Me and my daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Yucking it up?
I'll cancel it and send it again.
Okay.
I've canceled our friend request, and I've sent you a new one.
Okay. So it's 6:25.
Any side of Father Ryan?
Checking.
Here you go.
I'm checking.
You flip your hair back and forth.
I do need to, since I don't have headphones, I need to start combing my hair before. There we go.
What? Ooh. Freiburg.
You meddling kids.
Not yet. Not there. Okay, did you send that request?
I did.
And Jeff, you should also be
There
an
it comes.
admin.
Oh, how do I do that?
Anytime you go to the Catholic Underground Facebook page now, you can post as the Catholic Underground.
I don't think we're friends.
Did you friend me?
I did indeed.
Oh, woo-hoo! I've been accepted. Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see. Where was
Check
I?
that off my bucket list.
Let's see here. Yeah, this one here. And I want to...
Am I an admin? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the Catholic Underground or just...
Facebook.com/Catholic Underground.
Okay. I
And
know.
that goes for you kids at home, too. As I eat my almonds.
From the Catholic Underground.
From the Catholic Underground.
I've been replaced.
From the Catholic Underground.
I love it.
From the Catholic Underground.
From the Catholic Underground.
From the Catholic Underground.
See you. I like that in the background. Nerd alert. No, that's the chimichanga. What you call it?
Core breach.
Yeah.
Core breach. Wow.
Strong.
Oh, this thing
Right, right.
is just going
Mary.
Hmm.
What?
There's a Catholic Underground NYC, Los Angeles, Bay Area, London, Pittsburgh.
No.
Wow, man. No, I mean, I just didn't know there were that many Catholic Undergrounds.
Well, it's the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal have a program that they call Catholic Underground.
Oh.
Jude.
Mhm.
Wow.
That
There we
went
are.
well.
No, I have to stay where I am.
Are we live? Are we live on the
We are.
Yeah. So stop that profanity.
Yeah.
I like that first one. Though. Right by my easy. All right, fine. I don't care. You do what you want. You can do whatever you want.
Ominously.
Well,
Is that where you're going to be sitting?
no.
Okay.
Sorry. Got a little excited when I swung back this way.
I'm actually a lot closer than.
Aha! Who's got a big head today? Boom! Me, still me.
Actually, no. I've got the bigger head.
Still large. Ting.
Ooh. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would stop coming out with all of these starship designs. They have models of starships, and they're selling them on StarTrek.com, and I really want them all. Like Pokemon, I want to catch all of these starships.
Are they like little statues?
They are. Okay. One of these days I'm going to get to Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been seeing some posts.
I know, I'm a little jealous. I want to be at Comic-Con.
They're quite nerdy. I knew a couple of them though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep, sure did.
I'm insanely nerdy. I should be going to these things. Well, I think part of it is I've got to work.
Come in, Father Ryan. Father Ryan, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, there he
Yay.
is. Beep-beep.
Shall we start video?
Oh, hang on.
Do you want me to do that? Do I have to
Big
hang
I
up?
still don't
Yeah.
have the audio set up properly.
Oh, set up the audio properly.
Give me a second. For the love of goodness and right.
All right, then.
What is
So,
it? Clement. Sorry.
All right. I don't have my collar on yet, but we start it up and I'll go get my collar on.
Clement.
I'm going to turn on the video.
Oh,
There it is. It's on.
Okay,
Yay.
now hit the full screen button there.
Hang on. Let me get all the mics.
Yeah, no, not you, Ryan.
Oh, good.
There he is.
Okay, now, yeah, your cursor should disappear. Perfect. So we can bring you up on 4, and there you
Yeah.
are.
I'm going to try. I haven't framed this up yet. I didn't know we were doing this tonight. So,
Surprise!
you want me to turn that light off above my right arm? Or do you want me to just continue believing that's our lady, our Lord, or our lady, or my guardian angel?
It looks a little weird.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Cow.
That's just what we want, huh?
Okay, let me put on my clerics and I'll be right back.
Okay. We've reached a new era here on the Catholic Underground again.
Yay. So excited.
Gotta fix my hair. We're gonna have company. Okay, you may need to remind me to do the archive again before the show starts.
Do the archive.
Well, yeah, we're doing
Das ist ein Archiven.
See?
Or as Kathleen calls it, der Archivenplatz.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Now I can frame up lower to knock that light out like that, or I can just turn the light off completely, but it's going to make it pretty dark in here. I don't have any other lighting source.
I mean, you'll look a little blue. It's okay.
Aw.
It does look a little blue, but that's okay.
I'm not planning on leaving the hat on. I just wanted to see what it's going to look like. Not particularly good.
You might need that.
Yeah, well, it's not in the shot,
Oh,
which
that's
is
too bad.
okay, actually.
Okay, is that shot framed up okay?
Could you tilt up a little bit? Yeah, we're chopping off the top.
How much
of
up
your
do you
head.
want?
Right there. But,
Oh, yeah, that's good.
well, actually, a wee bit lower.
Yeah, your light's in the shot now.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
But if I go any lower, though, I'm going to fall out of the shot.
Oh. So what do you
Let me
think?
see what it's like without it on. Hang on.
I'm going to have to make a trip up there. I know it. I can feel it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's a light from your camera.
Huh?
I said it's a light from your camera.
Or
From
the
your
screen?
from your screen. So, I mean, that's not... It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
I mean, I can go try to set up a light source. I have 20 minutes. You want me to try to rig something up real quick?
I think you'll be okay. Let
Give me 5 Turkish. And
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, the face is really washed out there, all the details. So I think that backlight does help him.
It does. Whereas maybe if you could just aim it from a lower angle. Or he could just turn the lights on in his. Well, he doesn't have any overhead lights. That's right.
Wait, did our clocks multiply?
See?
So everybody can see.
Wow. I like it a
Right.
lot. Apparently, it's climbed a degree outside since we got in here.
Yep. Does that occasionally in Louisiana, doesn't it?
I want my cold back.
That cold
I
and
want it back.
No, we need no cold.
I welcome back. I see no smiles. Pardon me.
Oh man, that's me.
Who'd you think it
I
was?
hate hearing my voice. Stop. Turn it down. Stop. What it?
I need to go find water.
No.
Yes, really. I need some of that too.
We don't have water here.
Okay. It comes at great expense. I do understand.
Yeah.
Oh,
The spice must flow.
Yeah, it's worse.
Yes, please.
Oh. Thank you, Father. Father serving me.
Thank you.
That's very nice. Mm.
I have milk in the fridge that I bought today. I need to bring it with me when I leave. I also, not only did I buy milk and I put it in for storage in the Catholic Community Radio fridge, I also bought kefir.
Sutherland?
No, you can't put that in the fridge.
Sorry. Whoa, whoa. Little sneak peek. I need to find a better curl gel. This curl gel just makes my hair look dirty.
You know, like?
No, I know like curl gel. I know like curly gel.
So it's ugly in the top right, but it's not washed out anymore.
It's
Can you
not.
cut that out of the frame?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not beautiful, but I don't think people notice. It's just a pillowcase clothespin to the fan.
Perfect.
Yeah,
We don't have a lake.
It has more detail than it had
Good
before,
work.
so
Yeah, and I've got an uplight right there, and I've got one. I need a hair light because I look extremely bald because that thing is blasting my forehead. Something awful.
Blasting the rest of your face, too.
dulling
Yeah.
spray.
But it's not terrible. I mean, it's I can rig up something better for next time. I'll come with a hair cam from behind now. That'll nuke out. That'll get rid of that shadow right there too. At any rate, so the show is only 4 items,
Yeah.
as you undoubtedly noticed. If you want to drag some more in, we have that stuff in the perennial items box, or we can just talk longer about our picks of the week.
Yeah.
There's also the New St. Thomas Institute that I'm highlighting there, as you'll see,
Yeah.
which we could talk about for a long time,
Okay.
if needs be. I'd recommend everybody go look at it. Be interested. Bam! I feel like number 3 could be too long, but it's interesting to me.
It is precious to me.
You're right, it is. We had a deacon from the Food for the Poor this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very friendly. How you doing? Good to talk to you. Want to have more words? Okay, super good. So I ran significantly late.
That's okay. These things happen.
Mm-hmm. It's all right.
But he did a great job. I was very, very happy with him. He gave a little 6-minute sermon, which was nowhere near frustrating or exhausting. It was mostly stories about the poor. It wasn't particularly ideological. It was a great, great experience. That's all I've got.
You're doing a great job out there on the highway.
Thank you. Glad to hear that from you. I need to hear things like that from you from time to time.
It deepens our relationship.
Dipper. And the bit I'm doing there in number 3 at the beginning is Price is Right. I don't know if that came across or not. In 3C.
What is this?
Not Price is Right, Family Feud. And what's the number 1 answer, Louis? Ding! You have no clear reason for using social media.
Question. Is this...
Like with your Louis Anderson voice.
I take the belt sander. I take the ceramic cat for 2,000.
What did you say, Kathleen?
Is this just a this St. Thomas Institute? Is it just like BAs? Is it just a certificate?
I honestly don't know. I think that they're still trying to figure that out themselves. These are the people associated with John Paul the Great, which has one of the crappiest online programs I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Say that with
I
gusto.
spent $1,000 with them, and it was a terrible experience beginning to end.
Yeah.
And then when I called and
Hey.
said, look, I'm not going to register for more classes because I've just not enjoyed it. It's not particularly challenging. I was mocked
Roundly?
by the guy in charge of the program.
Really?
Yeah. He carbon copied me on email, an email he sent to a lot of different people saying, Father Humphreys apparently thought our program was not challenging enough. And so he's opted to withdraw, even though he's only done blah, blah, blah. And I was like, good Lord.
Oh, dear.
I mean, wildly obnoxious. And I sent an email to the dean of the university
Just
saying,
kind of
this-
uncalled for. I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah.
Heritage.
Well, and they all knew. Everybody in the program knew this was something I wanted to try on and see if it was going to work based on my experience with having been to a seminary already.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible experience. I would not recommend John Paul the Great to anybody in their online
Really?
stuff. Terrible experience.
Which is sad because it's exactly the opposite of what they're hoping to do.
Right. Yeah. And granted, they're trying to learn and develop, but there was nowhere in there that it said, this is a beta, give us your suggestions.
Yeah.
And it was all very, very tied to the way the curriculum is done. You have to start, at when everybody else starts, you have to have these online discussions with people. You have to have basically attendance quizzes. And I was like, come on. I mean, really? That's amateur hour,
Yeah.
If you're going to spend $30,000 for an online master's, you shouldn't have to do a reading quiz,
Yeah.
4 questions on whether or not you did the reading.
That seems like college seminary.
It's 13th grade. When I was at LSU Honors, it was one of the best things was the guy said, look, I don't care if you show up in my class or not, but you're going to take my test and you're going to need to know everything I say. So come or go all you want. Doesn't matter. I don't take it.
Dude, I say,
Miss Ross.
I need those diamonds.
So, and then when I went to seminary, of course, they were taking roll and I was like, seriously? It's just so sad. But these are some of the same people at New St. Thomas Institute, and looks like a really good program.
Well,
Yeah.
I have dabbled with the idea of getting a master's, but I don't really want to go back to school.
Did you go to no? You went to Holy Cross.
I went to the Holy Cross.
Yeah. Because Notre Dame's program is getting good.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
The folks that they have.
Improve a rating.
Yeah, it's improve it, Trond.
Improve
I
a
also
rating.
don't have the wherewithal to sit in class for an entire day.
Look at Big Jeff Blackwell posting the pictures online. I'm going to share this on the Facebook.
Don't hurt yourself.
On Space
I
Face.
did.
I
It's
wish
shared
there was
on Facebook.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing. We're just so glad to be
Hey,
here.
thanks for posting.
Hey, gang. Thanks for.
Oh,
noticing me.
heavens.
I enjoyed doing that with you.
Woo. Yes?
What?
Portions of the
I'm
Catholic
sad that-
Underground are brought to you by...
Whoa, whoa.
What?
I'm sad that more people haven't gotten excited about your post on a piano-led punk rock band names.
I posted some earlier today.
You did. I put Zipper Jam, which I think is funny, and then Dude with the umlaut, and then Jimmy Fingers and the Boons, and then Table Read, That Lone Light, and Crown Molding, which is awesome.
Although crown really should be spelled with an E rather. Crown, you know.
Yes, that's right. And there should be a piece of like punctuation, whether it's an asterisk or a question mark or maybe an
Yeah.
ellipsis or something. Because fun started the whole I introduced punctuation into your name. It's not fun, it's fun dot.
Yeah. I'm not allowed.
Well, what piece of molding? I mean, not molding. What piece of punctuation would you add?
Colon. Crown.
In your-
Colon
down there in your
molding.
colon. Crown colon molding.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, you could go semicolon, but, you know.
Yeah, you have a 2-sentence name. Look at you posting it up.
Darn it. There we go.
Holy moly. Or is it molding?
I love that thing. Did you see that thing I shared with the 18 Grumpy Cat Valentines?
I most certainly did.
That was hysterical. Where was the one I liked? That was 14. Roses are red, violets are blue. It's Valentine's Day. Leave me alone.
Those are Father Ryan Humphrey worthy.
I like it.
And then there was You Gave Me Your Heart. It was
I
delicious.
don't think so. Mary Kate wants to know if you've seen the Lord of the Rings Valentines.
No.
She'll have
She
to
should-
use.
Send it to me via electronic mail, via the internet.
She will send it unto you.
Good.
Take a look at that shot from Father Ryan, Father Chris.
Oh, yes, I see it.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to split the difference. Because the super's going to be running right across his chin,
Yeah.
that lower third. So
Yeah.
if you were to tilt your camera down just a bit, maybe not as much headroom.
Well, here's the interesting thing, Jeff.
Yeah?
His camera is his monitor.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine. I can do that. Is that better?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
an IMAX, so it's easy.
Oh, maybe you need to go back the other way a bit. Just
Just
kind
a
of
tad.
split the
Up.
difference. Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
Up. There you
That's
go.
the money
It's a
shot right
beautiful-
there.
Yes.
Right there.
Outstanding. I'll turn my
Get
camera.
that cash register effect there.
That's all I got.
Okay.
I don't have a cash register. I
it
need
looks
to.
All we
better.
got's
It's off your chin now. That looks better, Father Ryan.
good. I'm glad to be of assistance to you in this matter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. It's 256 this week.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good catch. All right, so that one goes over here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 mouses here in front of me, and it's just like, what computer is this for?
you've got mice, buddy.
Mice. Yes.
Huzzah!
4 mice. 4 mice.
Mises.
How do you take off the super? If you look on DSK2, which is all the way on the right, it shows on air. And if you want, you just hit the auto button, and it will. Yeah, give it a shot. Hit the auto button
Hit it.
on downstream key or 2,
That's not a
and
thing.
watch it disappear. It is a thing.
It's not a thing.
Yeah, but if you hit auto,
Still not a thing.
and you see it fades. Oh. So if you hit auto, it fades it on and off, which looks a little nicer,
Yeah.
for the kids.
Professional.
But you can hit auto both ways too. So it fades on and fades off. That's what auto means, is auto fade.
Does it mean automatic?
Kathleen, close your mouth.
Automobile.
I'm sorry. Autotrophic? Whoa.
That's not allowed.
Yeah. Oops, sorry, I'll turn this down. I don't even know how many. Oh, look, I only have 32% remaining.
Uh-oh.
That's bad.
She did.
Throw out the lifeline.
Rug. Buckets.
Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket.
Bop, bop, bop.
44 minutes. I'm not going to make the whole show. It's okay. Cool. It's all right. We got this.
You know what that means? We need to start talking about random movies, and that way she can't go to IMDb. And we need to do that in the post, or in the, what do we call it? See you later. Yeah.
No. That's horrible.
You know that guy? Oh, what was that guy in? Yeah, that guy. You remember him?
Too bad I have an IMDb app on my phone.
Where's that bell? now,
Foiled
mother?
again by the technobabble.
In your face. But I only have 20% on that, so
Woohoo!
What's that about?
that is obnoxious.
Air horn, yeah.
Extra omnes.
Oh my.
You know what that means in Latin? Get out.
Extra ominous?
Yeah, everybody out. That's what Marini said as they closed the doors.
Oh yeah.
Extra omnes.
That's actually him saying it right there.
Oh.
He
That
says-
must be part of a longer phrase because,
No, he goes to the mic
yeah.
and so that everybody who's not a cardinal,
Yeah.
he says extra omnes. Everybody out.
Get out of here.
Now.
Yeah.
That's not what extra ominous means.
Well, that's what he
Oh,
says.
no, it is if there's a long A. I see. Okay. Never mind.
Extra omnes.
I was working it in my head. I was like,
omnes.
but extra doesn't mean go anywhere.
No,
Doesn't mean everybody out. But
It
extra.
Means, it means get out. Get out.
Get out.
Frau Blucher.
Well,
I finally watched Ender's Game.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think?
It was okay.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
I'm sure it was that certain parts were handled way better in the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
There were a
but it-
couple of things in the that made big deals in the book, but
Yeah.
they didn't make any deal of it all in
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
you get the idea that in the book, no matter how smart the kid is, they had to be at least months at each one of those stages of development, from the yellow suit to the green suit kind of thing.
There was.
But in the movie, you get like it was 3 days, and you're going, "There's no way this kid who's like 9 years old is now the fleet commander." I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it happened fairly quickly, but not.
Right.
But yeah, it did take some time.
Totally bogus, dude.
Word.
I was appalled.
Yeah. I haven't
middle name
finished the
is Paul.
series yet. She wanted to
Oh.
know what we think of Ron and Hermione, and J.K. Rowling saying, "I think I messed it up. Or I should have done something different."
Ryan
I
in
didn't
Miami?
read that. Was there an interview?
Yeah, there was an interview.
Yeah.
Conducted by Miss Granger. 4 minutes to go.
Yep.
Conducted by Hermione,
Yeah.
the fictional character.
Hermione?
No, not the fictional, but Emma Watson.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Emma Watson.
thank you.
Extra omnes.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson.
All right.
I guess we should pray. Father
Why don't
Ryan,
we
do you
do
want
that?
to pray the prayers?
Yes, sure. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Lord Jesus, thank you so much for the gift of the technology that you give us, and for the gift of the opportunity to evangelize and to speak your word and your truth to people. And we pray, Lord, that you would open our hearts, and you would open our minds, and you give us wisdom, the words to say and the ears to hear what needs to be said. We pray, Lord, too, that you would defend us from our enemies, for from all those who would seek our harm, whether they be spiritual beings looking to do damage to the technology or whether they be those enemies in this world who are simply enemies of your church. We pray, Lord, that you would guide and direct all of our efforts and guide and direct the entire Catholic Underground and send your blessing upon us and upon all of our listeners, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
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 From the Catholic Underground.
Next time on The Journey Home, join Marcus as he welcomes former Protestants Nikki and Jason Workmaster. Find out how the Holy Spirit led them home to the Catholic Church. That's on the next Journey Home, only on EWTN.
This is EWTN Radio.
Vernon's Hardware has been serving Baton Rouge since 1965.
The owner is my grandparent, Tommy Chenevert.
Vernon's Hardware is located on Florida Boulevard, serving St. Thomas More and St. Louis King of France parishes.
I like this hardware store, and we go to church at St. Thomas More.
We have jambalaya pots and cast iron cooking equipment for tailgating.
I'm studying phonics, not hydroponics.
Do you rhyme everything?
Vernon's Hardware, that's my grandparent.
Vernon's Hardware, 272-0955.
St. Mary's Books and Gifts supports the mission of Catholic Radio in Baton Rouge and carries items such as books, art, and sacramental gifts. St. Mary's Books and Gifts is located on the corner of Florida and Sherwood Forest Boulevard. St. Mary's Books and Gifts, 272-4030. Citizens Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Catholic Community Radio. Citizens Bank and Trust. Online at citizensbankandtrust.com. That's citizensbankandtrust.com.
Every day, this radio station works to bring the Catholic faith to the airwaves of southeastern Louisiana. We can only do this with your support. Consider a tax-deductible donation. Log on to CatholicCommunityRadio.org.
Weather forecasts on Catholic Community Radio brought to you by the National Weather Service and sponsored in part by you. Donate online by logging on to CatholicCommunityRadio.org.
Evangelin the Musical is coming home to Louisiana. This special performance of Evangelin the Musical will be held on March 15th at 8 p.m. in the LSU Union Theater. Not only will you be deeply touched by this magnificent production, but all proceeds from the play will support the work of Catholic Community Radio and Woman's New Life Center. Tickets are on sale at the LSU box office. Call 225-578-5128 or log on to unionweb.lsu.edu. Hope to see you there.
Catholic Community Radio for Southeast Louisiana is WPYR Baton Rouge, WQNO New Orleans, K285FF Metairie. We need your support. Call now, 855-341-5199.
From the Catholic Underground.
Today on the show, in Russia, Olympic Watch U. New studies on the psychology of teens, parishes online stuff, flash mobs at Mass, maybe again, our picks of the week, and so much more. The Catholic Underground starts right now. Alrighty, welcome to the Catholic Underground. It is your weekly Catholic guide to the digital continent. It is episode number 256. I'm Father Chris Decker, your moderator. If you're listening live, you can join us at CatholicUnderground.tv and get your chat on. Special welcome to all of you who are joining us on CatholicUnderground.tv and our YouTube live channel. Joining me this week in video, we've got Father Ryan Humphreys. He's rector of the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception in historic Natchitoches, Louisiana. Hello, Father.
Hello, world.
We've also got Kathleen Lee. She is a teacher at St. Joseph's Academy in Baton Rouge, and she's our semi-pro faith ninja. She's right here. Hello, Kathleen.
Hello, and here I am.
That's right. We've also got Jeff Blackwell. He's the technical director of the CU.
Yes.
Hello, Jeff.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
And Mary Kate Taylor is our video director for the live stream. You may not see her face, but you see her handiwork if you're watching us on CatholicUnderground.tv. Something else happening on TV these next few weeks, the Olympics.
Ah, yes.
And NBC is officially the not broadcasting anything company. So, Father Ryan, you're a big Olympic guy. You actually don't have broadcast television in your house.
Right. I haven't had it for probably like the last 5 years, maybe 6 now. And that's never, ever a problem except when the Olympics come around.
Right.
Everything else I'm completely able to watch online. With the Olympics, unless you have a subscription to cable television, you can't use the fairly terrible app that Not Broadcasting Anything Company has made for us. It's extremely frustrating, Father.
Yeah, I just don't get this. It seems like every time the Olympics comes around, whether it's the summer games or the winter ones, we always run into this. And NBC owns not just NBC broadcast television, but they own something like 5 cable networks in addition to that. And I know usually for the summer games, they convert, and you've probably seen this, Kathleen, they convert all of their cable networks into Olympic channels.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They also buy time on some digital channels on most cable companies, and they show even more. And I don't get why we're not showing all these feeds. But it seems, Father, you've done a little reading on this, it seems that part of this is coming from the Olympic Committee themselves.
Yeah, the IOC is extremely basically caught in the Stone Age with technology because their big priority is making the Olympics break even financially, which makes sense. It's an extremely expensive thing to do, and so they are very, very specific. Every country gets one broadcaster who pays a small fortune for the rights, and then that broadcaster tries to recoup their extreme expense by making sure that nobody else can enjoy anything except on their network.
Yeah.
And when you have a fairly narrow-minded network, everything falls apart. And so what I'm doing now is using a series of technologies to watch most of my stuff through Canada.
Huh.
Yay!
Yeah. and I don't know how CTV's coverage is compared to NBC, but I would actually, CTV in Canada takes up the second largest footprint in the International Broadcasting Center in Sochi.
It's awesome. I mean, they've got a steady stream of data, a steady stream of information in the lower thirds. They do a lot of breakout boxes. They don't spoil anything.
Ooh.
And they're running, because CTV has quite a lot of channels they can reallocate. Everything is running. I mean, it's there's some stuff if you want to watch the women's qualifying of the mogul second round. You're going to need to go somewhere else. But I mean, for all the major events, even biathlon, men's 5,000 meter biathlon, there was a great coverage. And while that seems wildly boring, of course, the Canadians, they're special, and they get the coolness of the whole thing.
Yeah, they like
and
these long
their commentary it comes from a place because the Canadians have a sense of winter that most American commentators just don't have.
True. That's very true. Now, what's also interesting is in the midst of all of this stuff with copyright and we'll let you broadcast this but not that, and maybe we're just choosing not to broadcast this or that, the social networking stuff in Sochi is actually a breakthrough for the Olympic Committee, right?
Yeah, in the past they've not allowed Olympians to tweet. They've not allowed Olympians to take photographs and send them anywhere without them being copyrighted. And this time, basically, they lost. The Olympians are doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah, and that's, to me, that should be a sign that something's going on here. Mm-hmm. Jeff, you've actually done some work with the sports broadcasting in the United States, and I would imagine that in your work there, the more feeds, the better, right?
Yeah, and in fact, at the '96 Olympics in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I was working for a company that did the U.S. Olympic trials, which was like 30 days before the Olympics were broadcast. However, we sat side by side with the NBC digital truck. It was the first time they rolled that out. And Father Ryan, you might get a kick out of this too, as well, Father Chris. But their slow-mo machines were using laser discs at that time.
Ooh, but they need a whole nother truck just for that.
It was an enormous truck. They had so much audio. I forgot how many. It was close, approaching 100 channels of audio. Oof. And this is for the track and field work. But I was on the truck. I was taking all of the sound effects from the NBC guys, and then I was on what they call the World Feed truck. We were feeding sound effects, and actually it was only a 2-channel setup as far as our output, because we were doing British Sky on one channel. And then on the other channel, we were just feeding the effects feed. We were feeding French, Chinese, I forgot how many. other networks, but we were just sending them the sound. They had their own announcers. So it was a pretty big deal. And yes, you want multiple feeds. You want backups to backups because and it always takes up so much real estate because you have stuff happening all over the place. And it happens simultaneously, so you have to be recording and play it back later, what have you. So it's a big deal.
My goodness, to say nothing of what the actual end user, what the viewer sees, too. And I can only imagine it's got to be hard to say, well, we're going to air this and not that. But I guess by this time, NBC has metrics of what tends to play well in prime time. But from what we're seeing is that social media is spoiling who gets the gold medal, right?
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating because, it's impossible to look at Facebook and you don't know, well, the first gold medal of the games was won by an American, that the American women swept a lot of the snowboarding competition, that the Canadian women sisters took the golds in downhill, the new slope style, and that's incredibly frustrating if you want to watch that event. But see, and NBC is not going to play it for another 5 hours, and now there's no reasonable way not to find out who the winners are, hours and hours in advance. And I'm not going to turn off Facebook, Twitter, Vine, and everything else in my entire digital life. Just so I can wait to watch the Olympics tonight.
I'm wondering, would it make sense just for NBC to convert itself over? Because we know the Olympics, whether it's summer or winter, it's an advertising gold mine.
Of course.
So wouldn't it make sense for NBC just completely transform their network for these 2 weeks or however long it is? Is it 2 weeks?
It's give or take.
Yeah.
I think it's
to just transform their broadcast network and everything into just all Olympics all the time. Because I know even our local NBC affiliates are doing this Olympic Zone broadcast from their newsrooms, and they're branding it with the corporate thing, and they're talking about the local connection of New Orleans or Baton Rouge or wherever you happen to be to Russia. And so they're doing local interest stories, and it's taking the place of some of their 30-minute newscast pieces. And so it seems to me like they've got a really good possibility. So why wouldn't you just convert your network to all Olympic all the time to show everything? I mean, that's my question.
Well, and given that they have things like headline news, they could certainly say for the next 2 weeks, MSNBC is going to pick up the headline news slack, and HNL is just going to be, or HLN is just going to be 100% Olympics.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't do that, because they do that for the Summer Olympics, basically. And of course, thankfully, I don't know if that's the word to use, but they also now own what used to be, I forget which network it was. It was the Versus channel. Now it's the NBC Sports Network. And so I think they've done that on NBCSN.
Yeah, that's live. I've been watching it.
That's just pretty much a stream.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
Oh,
especially
good.
these weekends. I know it's going to be really bad when I go back to work on Monday, but all weekend I've been watching it all day. I stumbled upon it yesterday.
Yeah, I had it on while I was working, and I didn't get to watch any of the opening ceremonies because I was coming back from a pilgrimage with my parishioners. But supposedly NBC has even censored out some of the content of that. Is that right?
It was tragic because it is one of the most acid trippy opening ceremonies I've ever seen in my entire life. It is weird. I mean, in every conceivable way, because you have this very over the top kind of weird skating, moving thing, and then all of a sudden you cut to somebody giving like an hour-long speech over nothing. You know, what I mean, it talked about nothing, and then you cut to some kind of weird ice dancing bear thing, and then you go back to this group Tattoo, who are a publicly lesbian group after Putin has said that being gay is Olympic in Soviet Russia, and it's all over the place. Yeah. And NBC comes in and they cut like one sentence out of the speech, and they cut the entire dancing bear thing, and then they cut the entire Tattoo song, even though there's nothing in the song that was in any way offensive. And then they're gonna. It's so badly done.
Maybe we need to start a hashtag.
It's not even good trimming. It's obviously they just cut something out.
Yeah, I felt like they were watching it. Even myself, I watched a little bit of it, and I felt like it was like, oop, commercial time. We don't really know what's going on, so let's just go to commercial. I know. I felt like maybe they weren't. They really didn't interpret any of it. So anywhere there was time for a commercial, they stuck one in there.
Well, there wasn't much interpretation. True. One of the things I heard one of the broadcasters mention was that Russians believe in dreams, and they really focus a lot on their dreams, and that's kind of what they were doing with this opening ceremony was to make it dream-like, and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was
trippy.
There you go. It's a good word for it.
I just wonder where we are if our country is cutting things out of a Russian broadcast. We finished that, right? In the 90s? Didn't we end all that censoring stuff? I'm just asking the question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dom Cobb in the chat says, I heard the technician who missed the opening of the fifth ring in the opening ceremonies was found mysteriously dead. Then there are those sorts of things, too.
Siberia.
Okay, you're watching the Catholic Underground, we promise. So what is this saying about we who are in media, specifically Catholic media here? I tend to think that if you're going to do something that really is supposed to show the beauty of the flourishing of the human spirit, right? The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. These are very Catholic concepts, right? The notion of victory, of valor, of triumph, the notion of suffering and defeat, and yet still being an Olympian. You get back up and you pick the torch up and you run again. Well, whenever it is kind of hacked and slashed, it takes away from telling some of that story, wouldn't you say?
No, it absolutely does, and it makes you feel like this is it's a show, but not and there's nothing real about it. There's nothing that's transcendental about it.
Yeah. So television actually can have a part to play. So how do we feel about this, Father Ryan? How do you feel about just the overall Olympic stuff here?
Well, I'm embarrassed for us on an international stage with the way it's being handled by NBC, but I am still very excited about speed skating. I'm very excited about the downhill the skiing, which has been really interesting so far. Biathlon was fascinating, and of course, curling.
Yes.
Yes.
Chess on ice.
In the chat room, I'm taking time to answer this. Dom Cobb says, the Olympics, true. Not everyone gets a medal for participation. And here's the Catholic connection. Not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, shall be saved, is what I'm answering. I think that's perhaps one of the most important things that the Olympics can teach us is striving for excellence. But even whenever we do not excel, we still get up, right? We still get up. I would say that not only do I not have my jetpack or my hoverboard or my Mr. Fusion, and it's 2014, time is running out, people. My Olympics are now being sacrificed at the altar of political correctness and interstellar copyright law. Klingons don't copyright. Father Chris out. So, Kathleen, is there any sport that you're looking forward to that you've been following?
Well, of course, I am a fan of the figure skating. Although I wish it were a little. I was telling my mom yesterday. I was like, I wish there was some kind of because I also am looking forward to hockey. I discovered that today.
Oh yeah,
I love it. But I wish that
football
in figure
on
skating,
ice.
I got caught up in a women's game between Russia and Germany, and it was awesome. And so I kind of wish that figure skating was a little bit more rough. Like I was telling Mom, what happened if
check them?
Yeah,
with the toe pick.
or like there was like a slice of the skate, and she was like, "What?" Well, I found that in hockey.
That's right.
It's awesome. They're shoving people up against the boards, and
yeah.
If I could handle being on skates, I would play that game.
And if I think that I could get through a whole game, I would watch you doing that.
It would be awesome. I'd be in the penalty box more than I would be on the ice. But I'm also looking forward to. I really like Shaun White, so I'm really looking forward to snowboarding and his awesomeness.
Yeah, Father Ryan, you're looking forward, of course, to curling.
Yeah, I love curling,
but also
biathlon. Actually, is the event I'm really enjoying. Which seems like a fairly boring thing. It's cross country skiing combined with precision shooting.
Yes, one of my friends in Wyoming does that.
And it's one of the great endurance events, and it's one thing, you go to the first spot, you've only skied about a half mile, you fall down, you pop it, and you're good to go. But when you've been skiing for like 20 kilometers, and it's cold, and your hands are cold, and your fingers are not working anymore, and you're exhausted, and you're
it's like
all
saying
anaerobic.
5 masses in a weekend.
Yeah, and then you fall on the ground in the freaking snow, and then you try to knock out a target 60 yards away. It's an incredible endurance skill. So I'm really excited that I also enjoy downhill skiing. It's just fun, and speed skating is fun too.
Yeah, I always enjoy the speed skating, and my heart is in my throat as they make those turns.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the snowboarding as well, because I think somewhere way down in perhaps one of my calf muscles, I really wish that I had that ability to grasp that much adrenaline, but I just don't. So I'll just watch other people do it, and then I too am looking forward to curling, because I like that long form sport. As you say, it's chess on ice. It's kind of like chess and shuffleboard on ice. It's like a cruise ship to the Antarctic gone mad. Let us know what you're looking forward to, or maybe what you looked forward to in the Olympics that weren't covered. Backchat at CatholicUnderground.com is the way to do it. You're listening to the Catholic Underground. We are online at CatholicUnderground.tv. You can check our show notes and picks of the week there. Our picks of the week are, in fact, coming up a little bit later. But first, I'm Father Chris Decker. Father Ryan Humphreys is in his rectory. Jeff Blackwell is in the technical director's suite. Kathleen Lee is eminently to my side.
Here I am.
And then Mary Kate Taylor is in the video cave, making sure that everything runs smoothly. She's like her own NBC production truck in one person. She's got all of the controls right there. And of course, we're coming to you free and unfettered, certainly uncensored, because, well, Jeff doesn't have a bleeper thing. All we have is that for Kathleen every now and again.
My hockey game.
That's right. Yeah.
Takes me back to the ice.
That's right. That's the penalty box right there. That's what it is. My goodness. Well, I don't know what to say. In somewhat controversial news, a new and rigorous study found that up to 70% of teens with a so-called gay attraction later say that they are exclusively heterosexual. Now, this is pretty groundbreaking, especially in our current social and cultural milieu, isn't it, Father?
It is. It's become kind of a dogma in the counseling kind of world, not in the counseling world, but in the secular world, that if anyone is gay or has same-sex attraction, that we can't ask any questions about that. We simply have to assume that they are born that way, a la Lady Gaga, and leave the question alone.
Yeah.
But within the counseling world, people who do actually interact with real people, we have the notion that people go through phases, and teenagers go through more phases than most people, or than adult people. And there's nothing controversial about that. Phases are phases.
Right.
And so one of the things that these researchers started doing, these are researchers at Cornell, said, let's look at those phases and see if there's any overlap with the question of same-sex attraction. And they did a very, very rigorous study with 4 waves of students from the early 90s until 2008. And their overwhelming results found that the vast majority of young men and women who experience some kind of same-sex attraction as teenagers, whether it's exclusive or not, will later experience that merely as a phase in psychosexual development, and then will grow out of it and become ordinary heterosexual men and women down the road. And the researchers are careful to note this is not about people who went to counseling to be ungayed or went to a de-gaying camp or something like this. It's just natural phases, basically saying it's not unusual for a young man or woman to experience same-sex attraction as a teenager, and then for that simply to go away the same way that any other kind of teenage phase would pass.
So do you suppose that maybe what's happening in our society today, though, is a kind of way, whether it's the media or whether it's just the trajectory of psychological circles, to kind of keep young people, especially because we see that our young people are being targeted here,
right?
In every form of media. Is it a way to kind of keep them in that state of arrested development and not to begin to maybe question further, okay, is there something outside of what society is telling me I am if I have this attraction?
Well, I think going all the way back to John Dewey, who was kind of the foundation of our modern educational system, he said, education is a tool to change culture. And so kids are nothing more than cogs in our efforts to change culture. And I see this as just are the people who try to say, if you're a teenager and you're gay, you have to come out with it, and you have to own it, and you have to be as public about it as you possibly can be, as people who are just trying to bring about their own ends in culture, and they're using children for their end. And those people I could never have any respect for, people who are going to use kids for their own ends. That's just not right.
Well, sure. That's the same vein of what we've been struggling with in the Catholic Church and the society's view of the Catholic Church overarching now, of those who abuse children and use them for their own end, right? And
Right.
yet the society perhaps in which we live is not holding up a mirror saying, okay, there is something disordered about those who would use advertising, who would use even counseling and the psychological profession to push this agenda of who knows where it's going or why. But it seems to me like there's a disconnect there.
Well, I mean, and it's fairly easy to see. If I can, what does a drug dealer do? He gives you a little taste of his product until you get hooked,
Yeah.
and then you've got to have it. And so what are we doing with our teenagers? We're encouraging their inability to control themselves, and we're saying, have all the sex you can handle, get extremely addicted to that kind of constant sexual release, and then we're going to put that on TV, we're going to put it in movies, we're going to put it in music, so that once you become completely and totally unable to control your libido at any level,
Yeah.
all during your life, you're going to be forced to come back and watch more and watch more and watch more. It's basically an addictive form of softcore pornography, and the homosexual agenda is part of that equation.
Yeah.
Not all people who experience same sexual attraction, but
Right.
those people who are really pushing that agenda, who are saying this is the dogma of the new gay subculture, and you will believe it. Nobody's allowed to disagree with us.
Yeah.
And that's why I think these people at Cornell are brave people, because this is the kind of study that needs to be shown. It's not unusual for a young man or young woman to experience a disordered attraction of any kind, because they're basically walking hormones in tennis shoes.
That's right.
And and when you come to the other side of puberty, you have learned by definition how to deal with all that that stuff in you, and you've got some grip on your ability to control yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you've given into the aber-zombie culture,
Right.
in which case you have become basically an addict to that constant stream of orgasm and pornography and sexuality and sexualization, and you're unable then to control yourself, so you've got to immediately go back and get in that addictive cycle.
And of course, there is real spiritual battle that accompanies this as well. In the chat room, Taylor says, surprisingly, quote, being gay, unquote, is almost a trend right now among teenagers. It's a way to get attention and rebel against parents, and it's also popular. Kathleen, in your work with youth, do you see any of that?
Yeah, I think that there's teenagers and I remember being one myself. It's just a time of.
It wasn't that long for us, Kathleen. We were
wasn't.
teenagers not too long ago.
But it's a time of confusion and just trying to fit in and not knowing where. I know, I went to an all-girls school. I know several girls in high school who were
Who experienced same-sex attraction.
yes, and then later on got married to men. And it's just interesting to see this research because it's happened.
Right.
I've seen it, and I always tend to just feel bad for teenagers because they it's a time of I don't know what's going on, and what can I do to really get back at my parents, like you were saying, or just to stick out and be that individual. So yeah, I've seen it happen, and it's interesting to see these studies back it up.
Yeah, one of the things that kind of gives me a little bit of comfort in this is that it holds up the reality of phases within development. I mean, that's something that's we know that, especially of young children. They go through phases. They have phases in which they have an imaginary friend. They go through phases in which they want the puppy. These are natural parts of development. And then, of course, Father, as you say, you get to a point where you have hormones just rushing through your body that, in most cases, even your face is not prepared for because it starts breaking out all over the place, And if that's what's happening in your face, imagine what's happening in your brain and your heart, And so it's important to say, as we do, that there is a spiritual component to all of this, to realize that Satan is trying to get us to a place of pure apathy, and that is really what addiction can do. Is, as you say, it can move us into this cycle where we don't know any way out other than the place, other than the cycle that we're in, and that is when we can see perhaps people that they lose faith, and we know that those who experience same-sex attraction sometimes will turn their back on the church, even though the church, if you would just go to a priest, the priest would say, no, please come, don't stay away, come to the sacraments. This is what we will ask of you morally, because we believe that you are created good. But some don't even give the church a chance, because they think that if they're caught in this cycle or the beginning of this cycle, society has already judged the church as unwilling, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And society has also said that it is impossible in any reasonable way to be chaste.
Right.
And certainly it's impossible to be celibate.
Yeah.
And so the idea is, if I go to the priest, what is he going to tell me? Is he going to tell me something I don't want to hear? Better just not to go at all.
Right, yeah. Connected to this, in the chat room, Lauren Paprocki says, it's not just rebellion. Teens want to be part of something bigger than themselves, and they want to be part of movements, and the gay culture is a current hot movement right now. And it's interesting to note that those who I have known who have experienced same-sex attraction, when they get involved in something like a youth movement, like a Catholic youth movement, oftentimes they'll begin to see in this bigger movement of Catholic youth something that gives them identity. And as I often tell those who struggle with same-sex attraction, your sexual orientation is not your identity. It is a component of your identity, and it is one that must continually be examined, but it's not your identity. Your actual personhood and your baptism are your identity. And so it's interesting, as you say, to kind of get involved in something like that can really be helpful. I found it helpful for those. And again, this is not kind of the de-gaying camp or go to this youth event and all of a sudden you'll experience right attraction. No, I'm talking about being able to say, look, there's a component here that you may be putting a lot more stock in because the world is. How about we introduce the Lord into the mix and let him teach you in the Eucharist. Let him teach you in the relationships that you build with one another, with your fellow youth, and allow that to do the work too. I don't know. It's the church does have a lot to speak about this, right, Father?
The church really does. It really does.
We think in the society that it doesn't, because that's what the society says. Is the church just says, no, gay bad, so stay away, right?
Right. And frankly, that dogmatic way of seeing things, is the church is never going to be able to find her place within that kind of a dogma. But the big takeaway from this entire study and from all of these kind of discussions and from all the discussions we're going to have in the future ultimately is that parents and teachers ought to treat their children with kindness, but also with firmness.
Yes.
And that no one should be given favored victim status. Or let off the hook with moral expectations. Everybody should be called to be a saint, and every parent should have a genuine interest in seeing that their child experiences love and nurturing, but also that they experience the challenge of the universal call to holiness and the true weight of the Christian message, which is joy comes with the morning, but you got to pick up your cross and follow after him.
Right.
And those two are tied together.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Jeff, any thoughts as we work our way through this? Phases are difficult for everybody.
They are. I'm confused.
Is that a pimple, Jeff, on your forehead?
No kidding. Our kids are all grown and gone. But it's been a long time. But I can still see my granddaughter is 17 years old and. Wants to gravitate to the things that are popular. So I can understand.
And that's a normal thing.
Movement. Yeah,
it is. As Taylor says in the chat, it really doesn't help that it's becoming popular among celebrities, and it's also practically in every TV show and every movie. And that is, Father, I think, where if the family unit is structured, if it's ordered properly, and if it's functioning, then there's more of a chance to actually get through to your children, even if they are experiencing same-sex attraction, to be able to offer them nurture, to be able to offer them love, and to be able to offer them boundary. That perhaps is what can kind of help a discernment of the phase, right?
Yeah, if a strong family unit means that the child is able to identify themselves within that family unit for a long time,
Yep.
and therefore they don't feel like they have to go somewhere else to get a sense of personal identity.
Right. And so what does all of this data ultimately mean for those with same-sex attractions and the church?
Well, as I said before, I mean, it means that everybody has a home in the church, and everyone always will have a home in the church.
Yeah.
But at the same time, nobody should ever consider themselves able to simply be off the hook by whether they actually have same-sex attraction or whether they simply would like to be a minor celebrity for a little while, because of favored victim status.
Yeah. And that, of course, is the important thing to underscore again, is that there always will be a home for everyone in the Catholic Church. If you're suffering, well, we are a church of sufferers. If you are in a place of sin, we are a church of sinners, and we are called to confess the sins, right? We are called to make ourselves right with God. We are called to be in community. And if there's one thing that Satan wants to do for any of us, whatever the sexual attraction or orientation or struggle, he always wants to isolate us. And it's interesting that he's using this movement within our society that's disordered, that seems like a community, but it's actually just creating a community of people who are isolated one from another. And so there will always be a place for you in the church. If you're struggling right now, if you're watching Catholic Underground, know that there is a place for you. Know that there's a place for you. And perhaps speak to someone that you trust in your parish. Perhaps if you're in a good relationship maybe with your priest, don't be afraid, because there are those who want to talk with you. There are those who actually want to minister to you in a way that can show you that you're not alone. And so we offer that for you here at the Catholic Underground, and know, of course, that we pray for everybody who is struggling with one cross or another, because, well, that's part of what we do.
From the Catholic Underground.
Ministry isn't easy, and the transition from a fully in-person church to a both and online evangelization tends to fail more than it succeeds, especially on the parish level. And Catholic Tech Talk, as they often have done, they want to tell you why your parish online stuff isn't working. And so, the number one answer is you have no clear reason for using social media. That's the number one answer on the board. I often wonder about this. In fact, with my own parish, should I be using social media? It seems to me that most parishes don't really have a clear vision or reason for doing so, right, Father? I struggle myself, other than announcements, of trying to find a reason for using social media.
Yeah, I mean, when I first got to the parish I was in before in Campty, out in the small little parish, I immediately set up all these social media identities, I mean, LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I had no idea why, just they were there, and within about the first 5 or 6 months, I was posting all kinds of random different things. None of them were getting any traction.
Yeah.
And I really could not sit down and say, this is the purpose of this website. It just was, well, it's there. Why not use it?
Right. And that's what I think drives a lot of maybe a pastor who doesn't know anything about the internets. And he says to his youth minister usually, or maybe the secretary, we need to have one of them webpage things. We need to be on that Facebook or the tweets. And yeah, it seems to me, though, that there are wrong reasons, there are right reasons, and so many folks kind of embrace those wrong reasons for using social media in their parish. As I say, the reason that I tend to use social media, and I'm not saying it's a right one, is just to repeat what's being said in the bulletin. It's kind of, I guess, Father, the fire hose,
Right.
If you're not reading the bulletin, well, then let me give it to you on the Facebook feed. If you're not reading the Facebook feed, let me give it to you Twitter. If it's not working on Twitter, then hopefully you're subscribed to the Flock Note feed. And so you end up basically just retyping your bulletin to copy and paste thing all week long. And then, of course, Kathleen, one of the wrong reasons is to reach the kids.
To reach the kids, yeah.
And I don't know, with the exception of trying to go where they are, is this a good reason to have a parish website?
I've had a lot of friends who are youth ministers be really successful in using social media, Facebook. Don't forget we have this event. A lot of it too is sharing what's going on in the youth group. If you post an article to the website or you post an article to the parish Facebook feed about something that the youth group did that weekend, it's a little bit more accessible. It's a little bit more, in your face kind of. This is what's going on. I mean, that's been successful. Now again, with talking about kids and social media and especially with a position and not just a parish, like say a youth minister, there's all kinds of different, child safety things that you have to kind of deal with. And so done in the right way, I think it could be very successful, and it has been to reach the kids, but more from like a youth ministry perspective. I haven't really seen it done well from a parish.
Yeah.
I like to subscribe to parishes that I know things are going on around me. But I mean, I'm older and I'm old.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Isn't that something? We are old now.
I know.
Another wrong reason is to appear to be in the know. Just to kind of say, hey, we know what we're talking about. Now, there are some right reasons, Father. And one of the very basic things, really the only reason my parish website exists right now is the static info, right? Contact info.
And there's room for static info, provided that you say my online website is there to provide some static info. So you have your contact info, you have your location, you have your bulletin or some information like that. And that's an okay reason, but if that's all you want to accomplish, and you're not spending $7,000 a year from some obnoxiously expensive company, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you kind of want to even go further and say that the primary reason under that static info is interaction. You want people to come to that website and get information and then have a call to action.
Yes.
You want them to see that and say, oh, I need to go visit St. James. Oh, I need to be a part of St. Philip. Oh, I need to go do a tour of something. Because there should be a sense of interaction either in real life or on that website. That is one of the first and best reasons to have an online presence, whether it's website or social media.
Yeah. And number two would be to direct personal growth, to move us from interaction within the community, but also then to invite us to reflect, right? So whether that's an article, whether it's maybe something other than the pastor's article in the bulletin, and then maybe blog and book recommendations. I know, Father, you do some of that on your website now. Is that right?
We do some of it on the website, but that's really what we're doing with social media. And in fact, I posted on my school's Facebook page not long ago an article about lust and what lust is, and a parent, fired back very quickly and said this is inappropriate for a Facebook page for a school. And I said, well, it's not for these reasons, and I explained that Facebook is limited to those 13 and older. Facebook is there to not to provide information so much as it is to be we're trying to help parents parent, and things like that. And I explained in a very kind of clear way what the purpose of our Facebook page was. And the parent was a little taken aback, and he said, well, that makes a lot of sense. It's not just randomly there to post pictures and just kind of make statements into the ether, but that there's real value. And part of it is interaction, and part of it is to direct the personal growth of our parents, just as the Minor Basilica's Facebook page shares articles and recommendations for books to direct the personal growth of my parishioners.
That's right. Lauren Paprocki in the chat says, in 10 years, expect all parishioners to be internet savvy along with whatever replaces the current social media. There could be some truth to that. There are almost always going to be young people who aren't, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that are my age or younger that still the dread machine scares them.
Well, and I would disagree with that on a different level. I don't think that social media, in the sense that of the broadcast sense, that Facebook is the fire hose. It's wide open, and you just have this huge amount of information. And you know what? None of the kids want anything to do with it. They all want Instagram, which is much tighter network. But really beyond that, they want Snapchat.
Yeah.
Not just to send naked pictures of themselves, because they want to have a direct personal connection that is in no way part of the main.
It's one-to-one.
It's one-to-one. They don't want the broadcast. And when I ask my kids at school, what the story is with social media, none of them want Facebook. A very, very few want Twitter, mostly just to follow celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of them, like Vine and YouTube, is the only broadcast method they want.
Because it's entertainment, right? It's
right.
Large form entertainment.
Yeah, and I mean, beyond that, though, they like the new feature of Instagram, which allows direct messaging, and they like Snapchat, and they like Path. Some of them do, the more savvy of them, but they don't want the broadcast mentality anymore. And so Facebook is becoming not about the kids, but 99% of it is that middle-aged crowd.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. And then, of course, number 3 is to reduce pressure on those considering becoming Catholic or returning to the faith. As we say with Catholic radio and even Catholic Underground, you can listen anonymously and get the information that you need. That's a good reason to use social media. And I think that we're doing that a little bit with Catholic Underground. Certainly the Minor Basilica is doing that. The number 2 answer to why your parish online stuff isn't working, you're setting the wrong goals. The goals that are usually set either consciously by a parish counselor or web team or unconsciously is to increase attendance at Mass, to increase or gain online contributions, to build up community, which means something different to everybody on the planet, and maybe to evangelize, which also means something different to everybody on the planet. And so there are some right goals, perhaps, from the Church, the Catholic Tech Talk. Right goals might be, number 1, to find something that's practical, right? Something that can be done. Measurable.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, any goal needs to be practical, concrete, and achievable. And I know we're running a little long tonight, so
indeed, it's okay.
Those
keep going.
So the right goals for your social media, which is a little different than the right reasons for having one. Number 1, you need to provide a set of tools for your parishioners. They need to be able to come to the website or the social media presence as part of their personal mission to evangelize. That means articles, infographics, online resources. It means clear and attractive static info so that they can be confident in sending other people to see that. If you've got some ungodly Comic Sans thing that links to a PDF file, I can't send anybody to your site. How could I possibly introduce you to the manager?
You can't.
And so there's that. Second, you want to reduce the barrier of entry for somebody who is not a parishioner but may be interested in your parish or in the faith overall. That should be a goal of every parish system of online media that we have.
That's where the broadcasting can be useful, right?
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. The third goal, you can reduce the barrier of entry for somebody who may be intimidated by a personal encounter with a priest or even a member of the staff. And that goes back to that notion of reducing pressure from someone who might want to become Catholic. And then finally, if there are online contributions, what you want to do is as a goal, pitch that as a way to be seen as a benefit to the parishioner, not just to the parish. So, what about a little postcard or a little receipt that they could put in an envelope? So you want to say this is something that is here to help you. And the goals these aren't the only acceptable goals, but I mean, you want to set goals that really are affiliated with what your parish is trying to accomplish. These goals are specific to the Minor Basilica because I wrote them. Yeah. But these, your goals need to be oriented toward what is my audience and how is it that I'm going to communicate with them.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that leads us to the third version there, right? The reason your parish online stuff isn't working, audience, you're not taking advantage of the audience that you have. You're not, I guess the word that we could use is you're not marketing to them properly, right?
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. We could go on and on and on.
Sure.
But what's been wrong is that we tend to think about social media as syndication. Like you said, Father, I've got the bulletin, and so my email bulletin is the same thing, and my website is basically the same thing, and my pulpit announcements are basically the same thing, and my Facebook is basically the same thing, and my Twitter is basically the same thing. instead of realizing that each of those is its entirely own animal, and just by way of a quick kind of, explanation of that. In the bulletin, you might have a wordy write-up for an event, but from the pulpit, you have an impassioned plea, maybe a little guilt. On the website, you have a full write-up with pictures and links. In the email bulletin, you're going to have a shorter write-up with a pic and a link or two. On Facebook, you're going to have a pixel graphic, 500 by 500, pixel graphic slate that can be shared and that you're going to call to action with. But then on Twitter, you're going to have just several tweets with clever titles and some hashtags. I mean, this is the plan for when Father Z comes to my parish next month.
Yeah, you're going to cover it, basically.
Yeah, but every site, every system is its entirely its own different animal.
Yeah.
And so it's not just syndicating. Each of them is a different strategy and requires an entirely different approach because the audience for Twitter and the bulletin could not be more different.
Right. And we see that in how they receive information and then just jettison what they don't understand or what they don't need, right? It's all about tailoring the broadcast basically based upon the tool that you're using. Yeah, that's and that takes a team, doesn't it, Father? I mean, it takes people that are on top of it.
It usually does. I mean, I'm doing it on my own, but I'm kind of the exception to the rule because this is stuff I do so often that it comes very easily.
Yeah, you can suspend all these solutions in your brain at the same time. I can't.
Right, but for most people, the person who works on the bulletin, the priest who does the pulpit announcement, and the people who do Facebook and Twitter are going to be different people. And frankly, if you're going to be any good at it, you need to have that. And especially if you're going to go samurai and you're going to go to full-on advanced level and start doing YouTube and Vine, you're going to need people who have special skills in that area.
Yeah. Otherwise, don't come to the hockey rink, That's right. Okay, well, if you have anything that you'd like to offer, do so at backchat@catholicunderground.com. You can also comment on our Facebook page for this episode. You can find that at facebook.com/Catholic Underground. But first, of course, we must go because time is quickly flying to
That goes.
The CU Pick of the Week.
All right, and our first CU Pick of the Week. Let's go over to Kathleen because you have the Holy Father's Pick of the Week.
I do.
Pick of the papacy.
And maybe. I love the Pope, and so pretty much what he says, I do.
Oh.
And he's like, I think this is a really good idea. Yes, it is. So I stumbled across this. I did not know this until probably a week or two ago. This Mary Undoer of Knots. Can you see?
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah. If you're watching on the video feed,
if you're watching on the video feed, it's actually a novena that our Holy Father Pope Francis is spreading. He says this.
Yeah, he prays it himself. Right?
Yes, he has a devotion to it himself. And he is saying, listen, good stuff. So it's a pretty cool novena. It's a 9-day novena. And when I'm looking at it, it has this beautiful, for those of you who can see, if you aren't, or you're listening to this later, you should look up the image. It's beautiful of Our Lady. And she has this what's a wedding ribbon, and she's undoing these knots, she looks so serene.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what we as Catholics sometimes need to rely on. We have this crazy life that we're just like, oh, this isn't going right.
And I've got to fix it.
Yeah. And all we have to do is say, Mary, I can't do it. You do it. Help me. I need some help.
Intercede, and she just goes to work.
Yeah. And so what I found, what was beautiful about this was it gives you 9 days, of course, and then 9 things to pray for each day.
Ooh.
And so it talks about the first day, those struggling with marriages, second, with addictions, third, for your pastor, fourth, for your bishop, fifth, for the poor, sixth, for the unbelieving, seventh, for Christians outside the Catholic Church, the 8th day for the Holy Father, and then only on the 9th day, you pray for your own needs, which I thought,
wow,
that's awesome. You pray for all these things before you pray for your own. So
it's a novena really of humility, right?
Yes.
Of saying that my prayer should first of all be for those who have issues that are not my own.
Mm-hmm. I should pray for other people's knots before, which are huge compared to my tiny ones.
Wow.
So I'm very excited to start this. I'm still reading on it.
Yeah.
So because I want to understand it before I start it, but I will be starting it this week.
Very interesting. Mary Undoer of Knots.
Mm-hmm.
let's go over to Jeff, who's knotted up in the control room there.
Well, I'm glad to be here, though. Mine is really cool. My daughter, who has a teenager, told me about this one, Flipagram. It was new to me, and I even asked Father Chris, and he said he had not heard of it. But
this is not uncommon.
But it'll be in the show notes at CatholicUnderground.com. It's an easy-to-use app. It puts together a simple little slideshow, and it allows you to you can add as many pictures as you want. There's some examples on their website where it's real fast. Or you can space them out over the course of time. You can put your own music to it. You can narrate the slideshow. And let me see, there was something else. Oh, yeah, they have some graphics, very, very simple graphics, like a line of graphics if you want to put in a title. Mm-hmm. And if you want to add $2 more and purchase the Pro version, you can even put your own personalized watermark on it. So it's a cool little way to email a short little slideshow of like 15, 30 seconds in length with a bunch of pictures in it. So Flipagram.
That's awesome.
Very neat. Father Ryan.
So I'm recommending simple.com. It's an online bank. Online banking is scary. The idea of giving people your money and hoping they do something with it. It's an excellent online bank. It's a fully real licensed bank. And it's the only bank I use actually for my money. It has a great system of what they call goals, which amount to the old envelope method of you put $1 in a day kind of thing, or $2 a day, and you pay your bills that way. And overall, it's just been a great experience. I had an overdraft with them because the IRS accidentally pulled out double the amount I authorized.
Oh.
And it was a big, scary thing. And I called them, and they said, "Oh, don't worry about that. The IRS, we can't stand those people." And so they said, they charged me nothing because it wasn't my fault. And sent me, they've just been incredibly great in experience. And so simple.com. And if anybody needs
invite.
An invite, I have about 8 or 9 left, and you can email Catholic Underground and just put RE me, and I'll give you one.
I'm a simple user.
You're a simple man.
Yeah, we know. My pick of the week is actually a book that I found while I was on pilgrimage with my parish. We went to Alabama, to the EWTN studios, and to Hanceville, Alabama, also in Alabama, and to Hanceville, to the Shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament. And I got to tell you, I'm really amazed at how they have made EWTN itself in Irondale a wonderful place of retreat. You think, well, gee, this is where EWTN is. There's just a big studio there. But whenever the sisters vacated it and moved to the shrine, to the Monastery of Our Lady of the Angels at the Shrine in Hanceville, the friars of the Eternal Word took over. So the Franciscan Friars of the Eternal Word took over, and they made it into their friary. And they have the chapel there, which is where the daily Mass is broadcast from. And so pilgrims can come, and they can visit the gift shop, of course, because what Catholic pilgrimage site is complete without a gift shop? Really good gift shop. And then, of course, we also there's the chapel. We went to Mass, and then because there are the friars there, the priests would come and they would give us spiritual talks throughout the day. And the very last thing is the tour of the network. And so it's not like, hey, come and see this big commercial enterprise, but it's come see what the Lord is doing in your life and your heart. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, this is the network that our Lord has built. Mm. I was really enamored of it. But in the gift shop, there's a really good book called The Pope and the CEO. It's by Andreas Widmer. He was a Swiss Guard. This, in fact, if you're watching us on the video feed, you can kind of see he was a young, strapping 20-year-old, or I think he maybe entered at 18 or 19. He grew up to be a CEO, and he rediscovered everything that Pope John Paul II taught him by his actions and by the occasional little meetings that he had with the Swiss Guard about being a good businessman. And it's a quick read. I'm almost halfway through it, but just what I'm on right now, I'm on the section on prayer. And he intersperses things that happened while he was a Swiss Guard, what the Pope, how the Pope impacted that, and then how it's found application in his life today, and then how it can find application in yours. And so that's my pick of the week, the Pope and the CEO. We'll have a link to that in our show notes. Really, really good, very good book. All right. My goodness. So, Jeff Blackwell, we thank those who help us.
Indeed we do, and portions of the Catholic Underground are brought to you by audibletrial.com/Catholic Underground. That's audibletrial.com/Catholic Underground.
That's right. And we also thank all of you who are benefactors to us. With your prayer, you have kept us on the air, and you've even increased our air capacity, if you will, since 2006. Jeff, did you know we've been on the air since 2006?
Yes, I read the story.
Yeah, and quite a story it is. And it's amazing what the Lord has been able to do, not just through you and I, sitting here, but through you who are listening to us, who are watching us, who are taking us along with you on your car trip, taking us along with you in your ear holes as you run. I don't know if anybody would actually run to the Catholic Underground.
I breathe too hard when I run.
We'd have to talk louder. I don't know, or we'd have to talk with better cadence. I'm not sure. If you want to find the show notes that accompany our episode in the podcast, you can find out more about us at CatholicUnderground.com. You can also find out how to get us on Facebook and Twitter and maybe Instagram. Father Ryan's church is online at minorbasilica.org. He's at FR Humphreys on Twitter. Thank you, Father Ryan.
It's been my pleasure, Father.
Now in video. How does it feel to be on video, Father?
It feels great.
He loves LAMP. Also, Jeff Blackwell, he's the tech director for the CU. He's the ruling despot at Blackwell Communications Group, jeffblackwell.us, and Jeff Blackwell is on Twitter. Hey, Jeff, thank you.
It's a pleasure, Father.
We've also got Kathleen Lee. She is our faith ninja at Kathleen YABR. Thank you, Kathleen.
Anytime.
And Mary Kate Taylor is an evangelist. In her spare time, she's an official ambassador to Boogie Town. Yeah, she is. And you know me, I'm Father Chris Decker. You can follow me on Twitter at Digital Catholic. Join us on the interwebs for CatholicUnderground.tv for even more from the CU. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us here on the digital continent. We're Catholic Underground, we're Faith Gone Digital, and we will see you next time.
From the Catholic Underground.
All right, it's to see you later.
And we're back.
And we're back. Just putting my Simple card back in my wallet.
I got to tell you this, Father Ryan, this came to mind. You were talking about on the Facebook, you addressed the issue of lust.
Yeah.
A Baptist minister friend of mine years ago, he was having this talk, sex talk, you know.
Yeah. The talk.
Yeah. Anyway, there was an elderly woman, and you could tell just by her handwriting, because people, he would actually have people write the questions, pass it up to him, and he would, read the question and kind of edit it as he needed to. Anyway, he said he could tell this was an elderly woman that wrote it, and she says, I don't think he's going to. Let's see. I got a text. Let me put on my readers here. And I have this on like extra large font already. So our dear buddy Ed Ball, sent a text saying we should swap the key on the Skype to camera right. Sounds like there's a road trip in store, is what he says. So we've been wanting to go up and see Father Ryan anyway, huh?
You want to do what?
Yeah.
Well, he's using his onboard camera, onboard the iMac.
Oh, I see what he's meaning. Swap the key on the Skype shot to the key light.
Oh yes, the key
camera.
light to the other side.
Yeah. The camera.
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
Yes. Okay.
Right now, I just had to redneck something together before this, but eventually the light will go there.
Yes.
And I'll have one that'll be up on the wall that'll shoot back for my baldness there, do the hair cam.
Yeah.
And then I'll have one coming in from the side here, and then I'll actually move the mic away a little bit like this, and we'll frame it up.
There you
go. I didn't realize we were doing video tonight until I walked in.
Okay.
I came in about 10 minutes later than I usually do anyway. So.
I had interpreted that wrong to start off with, but Father Ryan, you've got it under control. So
when do I get a hair cam?
What?
The future. A hair can, hair light.
No.
You know what hair light is?
Oh, a hair can.
Yeah, there'll be no hair cam.
That's what you were saying. I was like, I thought you said a hair cam. I was like, must be nice.
No.
Well, the lights in front of you are the key lights.
Yeah.
And then the ones kind of behind you that put that little glow on your hair.
Yeah, that's separated from the background.
That backlight, yeah.
I understand now.
All right.
I'm not techie. You know this.
I just got a text from a friend who wants to do a TV show with her husband, who is a convert, called The Kitchen, the Cassock, and the Convert on EWTN. Cooking show. Also, my thing says that we're going to have 3 to 4 inches of snow on Tuesday.
Lovely.
Not really. I've got a meeting
in North
Alexandria
Louisiana
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
In North Louisiana, huh?
I think we're safe. I've been looking.
Yeah, I got to drive to Alexandria for the meeting with the personnel board meeting with the bishop.
Oh yeah, we just got our personnel board stuff emails.
Stop texting me, people. On the radio here, talking to people. We're interested in what I have to say.
I'm dead in the water tonight. I got a dead cell phone, dead computer.
Oh, now is the time to ask random questions. Do you remember that guy who was in that movie?
No, stop it.
That's right.
You're so silly.
I watched some movie actually recently that I thought I was watching Arrow. My director of music here in the parish is a big fan of Arrow.
Oh, and the seed.
It was a great story. But this guy was talking about how he gave the movie 2 out of 5 stars because they kind of dropped the story somewhere along the line, and you're kind of left wondering what's going on. But then he turns around and says, "The Lego Movie, 5 stars."
Hey, I like Legos as much as in fact, I grew up with Legos.
Yeah, he said everybody did.
Yeah, I think I would probably enjoy it. I don't know if I'm going to go see it in theaters, though. That might be a DVD or a digital rental.
There you go.
Yeah,
a rental.
Yeah, don't go see a freaking Lego movie.
Anyway, it was. He said it was great.
The next movie everyone must see is Divergent.
Oh yes.
I think that's going to be the next series I read.
You need to read it right now. My students
Kathleen just diverged all over
I just
me.
vomited all over everything.
My students have asked me if thank you, Jeff, for giving me a cue. Anyways, my students have asked me if I'll go to the midnight premiere
show
with them, and I said, "Well, I will not go with you, but I may be there." Oh yes,
yes.
And by may I mean I will.
Well, are there like
Incognito.
costumes?
No, but I'll be wearing a baseball cap and a hoodie.
Gosh.
Oh, because you'll be in Incognito.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Incognito. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm thinking about wearing an all gray simple shirt.
Oh yeah.
Like a
Abnegation.
Abnegation uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Father Chris, do you not know what we're talking about?
Extra omnes.
Get out.
You get out.
I mean it. Don't come back.
I want to wear all black, like the Dauntless.
Yeah. See, I'm not dauntless though. I mean, the thing about that book, I thoroughly enjoyed the entire series, but immediately from the beginning, I said I would be Abnegation through and through.
See, immediately from the beginning, I thought I want to hit things and jump off of trains. I will
The
be
only
done.
part I thought would be awesome is bailing off the building down 20 stories onto the net. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of a sudden, Kathleen's got this.
I'm legit.
That violent
But
streak.
unfortunately, the girl who's playing Triss is way too pretty.
Yeah.
I'm upset about that.
Yeah, they described her as being like simple and mousy, and she's neither.
No.
Who's playing her in the movie?
Shaylee. What's her name?
Did you see what I did there? You see?
Oh, you did it. I'm not going to tell her who it is.
It's Shailene.
Schlern.
She's
just known by her Swedish name Schlern.
Shailene.
Shibberlurbenerder.
What is it? Come on now.
Shailene Woodley.
No, that's
Woodley. I was going to call her
Woodley.
Wilson, but it's not. Shailene Woodley.
And she's famous from The Secret Life of an American Teenager.
Yeah.
Oh, the different kind of family.
But she's incredibly beautiful. She's got this extremely kind of American Midwestern beautiful face.
Yeah.
She's fairly tall, and she's got a very well proportioned body. And the whole thing that makes Triss is that she is tiny, mousy, not particularly attractive, not particularly well formed, and her body has not, quote, blossomed yet. And so, the whole thing is that she's just not attractive. And so when she kind of becomes the center of attention, it's really shocking. This person's going to walk on the scene with all the other beautiful people, and we're going to go, really?
Uh-huh.
Of course she is. Look at her. She's gorgeous.
That's always an issue with movies. In fact, just reading the Harry Potter series, the folks that eventually played the characters in movies aren't really anything like they're described in the books.
Yeah.
No.
Like Emma Watson.
Yeah, well, I mean, but see, Ron always made sense, other than the fact that Ron got a little tall, a little fast.
Yeah.
Ron was always perfect, but Emma Watson, in the first couple movies, but once she started to become attractive, they didn't kind of use makeup to make her less attractive. They went
like
the other
they
way.
did with poor Neville.
No, he's so cute. And Emma Watson in the first couple movies, yikes!
She was mousy. She
yikes!
Had the
but the whole thing is she had this giant frizzy hair,
And I liked
once they took that away from her, she stopped being kind of the annoying frizzy person, and then she put on the gorgeous hair and started being in Pantene commercials.
Don't they all, Father? Don't they all?
Well, I like being celibate, Father. I enjoy it very much. One of my girls, at the high school, the cheerleaders. I walked in. I'm there a lot, and they said, "Good morning, Father. You want to buy a Valentine gram?" And I just looked at her. I said, "Kara, I'm celibate, and I love it." And just walked up. She just burst into laughter.
Well, give yourself one then.
Kids like the celibacy jokes. They
really do. And she's a Protestant. So, I mean, she thought it was double funny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did download Divergent on my Kindle.
Yeah?
I haven't started reading it yet, but I did download it.
Convert.
Way to go, Jeff.
Yeah,
I can't say I've gotten that far.
We need to get there, friend. It's fast approach.
Great.
And, hey, make it snappy.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh.
Penalty box.
For not being
Yep.
divergent.
Oh, you guys.
I should give you one with the air horn, just the air horn, right?
Uh-huh.
And you-
Whoa!
She might bring her own
That, yes, that's bad.
irritating.
Oh.
It's good TV.
Other than that,
Hope we didn't have any of you veer off the road while you were on your way to wherever you're going.
What else?
Right.
so what was Shailene or Sherlyn?
Shia LaBeouf. What?
What was
Yeah,
the-
no, let's
what
not
was-
talk
What was
about
the
Shia
last
LaBeouf.
name?
Woodley.
Woodley. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you know.
It's gonna be good, man. It is gonna be good.
Sure, why not?
I'm going to have to read the books.
You are.
I hope so.
Is there another movie that's coming out soon that's worth seeing?
I saw Labor Day today.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Does that have anything to do with giving birth?
No.
No.
It's based on a book. It has Kate Winslet and Josh Brolin in it. And
Oh! I saw the. I don't know what it's about.
I went to see it because I was intrigued. It was odd.
It was just.
It was odd. It was it wasn't like super artsy because I'm not into those movies where I don't understand what's going on and there's like.
Do you not like subtitles? Are you one of those people who doesn't like
I
subtitles?
don't like subtitles. But you know how like it's not really about the story. It's about imagery and blah blah. I don't like movies like that, and it wasn't like that. But it was the story was a little odd. I don't know if I would recommend it.
You would not give it
No.
2 hair poofs up.
What's about? And it's like almost unrealistic. This guy escapes from prison and asks this woman and her son if he could like hang out at their house, and he ends up staying over the weekend, Labor Day weekend, and they fall in love. I'm like, weird. It's weird. Who falls in love that quick? I don't know.
I'm celibate.
Yep.
And loving it.
You should definitely do the old Maxwell Smart voice with that.
I thought I did, Chief.
Try
And
harder.
Loving it. You realize
99?
Ooh, the Noah movie is coming out.
Oh,
With
that
Russell
looks pretty
Crowe.
good. You know, another thing that looks pretty good is Son of God.
I saw a poster
Did you-
for that.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I haven't seen a.
Well,
trailer.
it's I don't understand what conspiracy is working here, Father, because we're looking at since Caviezel, Mel Gibson,
Passion?
The Passion of the Christ. Since the Passion of the Christ, there have been several films that have been Hollywood quality, very good, but none of them that I know of are actually getting. None of them are getting distributed that way.
Yeah.
No.
And so, like Son of
You know
God.
the one. Oh, go ahead.
Son of God, you have to sign up with the church group or pre-buy tickets and things like that just to get in your theater.
Right.
I guess just because they don't have the dollars to get it distributed, because apparently it
Yeah.
takes millions and 1000000s to distribute. I just don't understand that.
Well, you know the one that I'm super pumped about that looks like it's going to be great is called Gimme Shelter.
Yes.
Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
It's got what's her name? The skanky one from from High School Musical.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Ding one for me.
Yeah.
And she plays apparently a very, very good job of playing the a young kind of girl who's abused by her parents, and she kind of leaves home. She's pregnant. Everybody wants her to have an abortion. She decides to keep her child. She ends up in a halfway house. It's based on a true story. It's like Juno without all the obnoxious hipster nonsense. And everybody who's seen it has just said it's great. It's got all the Christian virtues without being one of these like fireproof things that's just unwatchably cheesy.
Yeah,
So I'm hopeful of that.
I saw the trailer before I realized it was or heard anything about it being, I don't want to say religious, but inspirational. You know.
That's the secular way of saying religious, isn't it?
Yeah.
How could I possibly introduce you to the bishop?
Yeah, I had to drop that in even though it made no sense at all.
There are a couple more coming out, and there's one about, and I don't have my resources, so you have to help me out. One with the guy who played Hercules in the Hercules TV show. It's like I feel like this is like Pictionary.
Yeah.
And he's like a professor at a college, and this kid goes to college, and they argue about like the existence of God.
Are you talking about Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah.
He's the dreamy.
He was also in Soul Surfer. Boom.
He was also in Uh-oh, Father, I'm going to need help. It's a YouTube series. With
I'm
Felicia
looking for a guy
Day.
named Serbo?
No,
Is that a real
Kevin
thing?
Sorbo. He was in, oh my gosh, I can't, The Guild. He was in The Guild.
Oh.
You know, the web series, The Guild.
I'm trying to get the guy to come up so I can see his face.
Yeah.
Was he really?
He's
yeah.
Hercules.
Yeah, he was at the Comic-Con thing.
Huh. I don't know what he was in the guild. Oh, he was in the guild as himself.
Yes, he played himself.
Kevin Sorbo.
As Kevin Sorbo.
And so he's going to be,
As
what is the name of this movie you're thinking about?
I don't know. That's what I...
Mythica, Help on the Highway.
No.
That's a real name.
Hercules, Help on the Highway.
Forgiven,
Maybe
One
that
Shot,
one.
Survivor,
God's Not Dead
One More Round.
is
He's got
the
like
name of the
15 movies
movie.
in post-production right now.
God's Not Dead?
Taylor on the
Oh,
assist.
very good.
God's Not Dead.
Because that's a song. God's not dead, he is surely alive. Living on the inside, moving like a lion. Yep.
Let's never speak about that again.
Oh.
College student Josh Wheaton's faith is challenged by his philosophy professor who does not believe God exists. That could be interesting.
There's also another one. You ready for the
It
description?
stars Willie Robertson of
Oh, yeah, huh?
yeah,
Duck
of a
Dynasty.
full-on redneck
What,
Duck Dynasty.
Dynasty. I love it. Also, there's a movie coming out about this girl who it's got
Keep on going. I'm good. I've got
it's
my
got
water.
the guy from he used to be the Dukes of Hazzard, the blondie one.
Yeah, the one who's in all the kind of
Yeah,
those movies.
he's the dad. Okay. And the girl goes to play music or something, and she gets caught up in like the music world, and she comes back. And,
John Schneider, who you're thinking
yeah.
of?
Yeah.
He is also dreamy. Mm.
He's in the Haves and the Have-Not TV series, a show called Smothered, American Justice, Let the Lion Roar, Runaway Hearts, Road to Open, Adrenaline, Dune Bee.
Oh, that was a great movie.
I don't know.
You're listening to the audio version of Internet Movie Database.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Were we supposed to be recording this?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, cool. All right.
What is it? They're making a new version
I don't
of
know where we are.
Highway to Heaven, aren't they? Too? Like, you know, the
Yes.
series from the 80s,
Oh,
they're doing
yeah,
a
with
new version of Highway to
Michael
Heaven.
Landon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Michael Landon.
So many hairs on the top of his
And
head.
Victor French. Let's not
He
forget
was a crier.
Victor.
Not to be confused with Mr. French.
No,
which was-
absolutely not.
Which was that Nanny and the Professor? No, that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what that was.
Family affair.
Family Affair.
Are we excited about Maleficent?
Oh yeah, except I don't
know.
like.
She was
Angelina
always
Jolie.
the one who scared me a lot.
I don't like her on
Angelina
moral
Jolie?
principle. She's tainted.
There's a lot
all
of interesting people in this movie.
All of
though.
her movies now are tainted.
Yeah, she's a weirdo.
Can't
But I mean,
watch
there's a lot of really interesting people in this movie.
No.
I mean, Miranda Richardson is in it as Queen Ula, and that could be really interesting.
Who?
Miranda Richardson?
I don't know who that is.
I've converted this Post-it note into a breathe right strip.
All right, poor strip.
Jeff has been watching you from the control room, and he thought you were a tool.
Well, I am an instrument of God's mercy.
Kathleen, to answer your question, Miranda Richardson, I fell in love with her when she was in the weird, disturbing version of Sleepy Hollow that, what's his name did? The
Johnny
one that
Depp?
had,
Johnny Depp.
yeah, Johnny Depp.
That was
in
my
it. She was the evil woman.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, she was the lady, whatever, who ultimately controlled the thing
Yeah.
and ultimately died.
I liked that one.
And she's been a small part in a ton of movies. And
Yeah.
you look at her, and you're like, she's awesome, and she's scary.
I had that one on DVD.
Yeah, I love that movie. Father Chris can't watch it.
Which one?
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, that's scary.
It scares you?
Yep.
Really?
She's apparently was in the
I
Phantom
get
of the Opera
scared
too.
easily.
See what role she played in that movie. Oh, she was Madame Giry in Phantom of the Opera.
Sometimes I get afraid watching the evening news. I just if they say be aware that these images are highly graphic, I can't. So I just turn. So imagine a movie that's suspenseful and scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I should make
scary
you watch
movies.
Super 8.
I'm afraid of that, Father Ryan.
I enjoyed
It's
that
a
movie.
great movie.
Yeah, it
you would
was.
love it.
Maybe I'd watch it with you.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do is when Z comes up, we'll all watch it together.
Oh yeah, I wonder how Father Z would like that film.
It's the only J.J. Abrams movie I've ever enjoyed.
Really?
Yes.
That
Because it's set back in the 70s, and these kids are trying to make movies with their Super 8 cameras.
Yeah.
And one kid just keeps saying, it's production value. It's all about production value, which makes me think of you. And then at the end, and then out of nowhere, it becomes an alien movie. And it's awesome. Everything about it is great.
I love the scary movies.
Yeah. The good scary movies are good.
I like a good movie where like it's progressively scary as you go. And so you find yourself deeper and deeper into whatever chair or couch you're sitting in with more and more of your eyes covered.
I watched From Hell last night, the Jack the Ripper movie with Johnny Depp in it.
Oh yeah, huh?
Dear me.
So freaky and scary and creepy.
He is
and-
good at that.
Yeah.
He is good.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah,
me
I'm
some
pumped.
scary movies.
Oh, there's a new A.J. Michaela movie, too, I wanted to see. What is that called? Angels and Stardust, I think is what it's called. Maybe a different one.
Well, I'm getting from the Jeff from the technical director. We want to
Call
take
it
camera
quits.
7 up there. I'm getting a rap. I'm getting a rap sign here.
You want to rap? In West Philadelphia, born.
Well, that's about all the time we have for on the See You Later this week. I'm Father Chris Decker. You've been listening to Kathleen Lee.
What's up?
Also, Father Ryan Humphreys.
Yo.
You haven't been listening to Jeff Blackwell.
No.
Because he's been just as lost as I have. But I guess I have to say, I'm the one who started it, right? I said, is there any movie that's coming out? And
That is true. Danger Zone.
there it was. So yeah.
Kenny Loggins.
He's always going home, you know. Maybe we should celebrate each
From
other
Touchdown.
home. You know, yeah, there we go. All right, it's been the See You Later. It's been the See You. We'll see you later.
Nighty-night.
Bye-bye, people.
Bye-bye.